What's going on, investors? That's here from Investments, and I gotta make sure my mic is working because it wasn't working last video. I did like a whole 30-minute stream where it wasn't on, so that's great. So let me know if that's working good. It looks like it is. Looks like I got the music coming through. Looks like everything should be good. So today's February 26th, Sunday, doing our Sunday live stream where we're going to look at some charts today. This channel is going to be a trading, well, not only a trading journal, but this is going to be my road to financial independence, right? And one of the tools in my toolbox to do that is going to be trading. So with that said, there's a couple different trading strategies I have, including index funds and fundamental investments, as well as doing some active trading. And Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, I'm going to be looking at charts for my active trades. So yeah, if there's anything you'd like me to take a look at while I do that, please feel free to leave it in the comments. It'd be great to get your recommendations, because otherwise you tend to look at the same things over and over, just because things are outside of your peripheral vision. I'd like to start this off by taking a look at Bitcoin, because that is the macro mover of this market, right? So all these little altcoins playing their piddly games, it don't matter if Mama Bitcoin comes home and says, not happening. So I've seen people draw this as a pennant and it broke down previously. So we took our liberty and drew this as a parallel channel in hopes that this line at about 22,700 was going to hold, and it looks like it's showing that it might. So it looks like that might have a little bit of value, and it might continue on higher. So one of the things I've also seen people doing, and I don't know that we can do this here, it doesn't look too cool, but when you look on the hour scale, you really can't chart too much. Like, none of this holds any weight, because it's just such a small time frame where it's like these patterns don't really mean much of anything yet. But let's do what I've seen, and I've seen people do a nice parallel channel here as well. I don't think this is as nice, but if it is the case, you can tell it's broken out of that parallel channel and continued on higher, not highward. I do like this upsloping parallel channel. I do think that holds some value, and I think we are going to continue onward. Still not looking bad. Like, if this is the local low, you're still getting these higher lows, right? So from here, if you continued high, that'd be fantastic. Like, this is a nice pivot point for like a nice pullback and then continue higher. When you get these kind of run up, you typically see these pullbacks, right? So I don't think it's anything to be worried about. And it looks pretty promising, especially when you look locally. You got this spot where it touched as support, was also previously tested in January, multiple times to show, before breaking down and breaking up above that it is support. So we don't want to see it touch this line too many more times, but the fact that it is, doesn't mean that it's failing yet. It could be a good spot to pivot around on. Another thing we were saying last time we looked at this chart, and this was just like a little side note thing, nothing too crazy, but this formation we were seeing, and I kind of phrase this as a capitulation formation, where during this 2017 bull run where we got up to 20,000 and then regressed down to like 5,000, you had this nice flat line right there, and everyone thought, oh, that's where the support is, that's where it's going to go. But then you had this capitulation where it just, the floor dropped out and it kind of tanked, but then it started to bowl back up to that $6,000 level, right, where we saw that floor. And I circled that formation, and what I was saying is it's too far up. It almost looks like what we're experiencing now, right, where you got this like massive support showing up right after a nice drawdown. Correlates to this back in 2020, where you have some sort of formation showing that there's some sort of strength at this level, and then you just have this nice drawdown, this little capitulation before running again. I like it. I think I don't know if it means anything, but I like to look for like things to compare. What are we seeing here? That's the daily. Yeah, so not much we can do here, but would like to see this continue higher, obviously, because that is going to dictate the entire market. With the recent drawdown, let's see what's still valid. Still looking, T-Fuel has not moved yet. So I would say this is just waiting for buys, waiting for people to come in and purchase this. You're still getting higher lows on the daily. Higher high candle close yesterday, a couple days ago. Looking good. Looking like it can continue higher. And we got our measured moves marked out based on the Fibonacci. So we did the swing low to the swing high, and we needed to at least hit this 23% retrace to make it an valid fib, right? That's what I learned. And since it's a valid fib, you could easily expect it to see it retrace from the swing high to the low, to the 382, to the 50%, to the 618. Like, these are a very obtainable range for a fib retrace. So you could easily see it hit one of these three. I mean, you could even see it go higher. Like, if this is turning around, this would be nothing, but this is a very obtainable goal for this. And this goal that we're having, if you were to be buying, move these up, 83% gain, 121% gain, and 163 gain. I would front run these, right? So you'd take your 83 and turn it into like a 77. That way you're not the exit liquidity, you are selling into that. But yeah, looking real good still on T-Fuel. It is a secondary token, which is why I'm really hesitant to buy it, but it's just, this chart looks really nice to me. You have this long drawn downtrend, and now it's starting to plateau at an important support, right? Like this level at 3 cents at 3 cents correlates to the last point before we had this massive like upslope, right? So this was the last time you had some sort of price action where it was like really tight, where you are having buyers and sellers really competing to see if the price is going to go higher or lower. So that is the last line of significance that I was seeing, and it just so happens to be the support that was hit in January. So it's looking like T-Fuel is going to turn around and potentially be a great gainer. The 130 some percent. Theta looks like it's doing the same thing. Oh, another thing I liked about both of these is that it's above the daily 200, right? 200 simple moving average. It just came back and tested it and bounced right up above it. Theta, same thing. Let's stick to some crypto here. XRP, absolutely nothing happening ever on XRP. Higher lows, looks good, just waiting for people to buy again. You got a little bit of a higher high here, but then it fell back down, and you're still getting higher highs. It's just, you need people to come in and push this higher. I would think this is going to take off at some point. The next time Bitcoin gets a nice run, I think we're going to start to see this be a very important asset in that bull run. Do I think the bull run's on? No, not yet. But doesn't mean these coins can't run. Okay, what did our chart do here? I don't even know what the hell this one is. What were we looking at with this? We had an upslope here. Looks like it's holding. I don't remember what I was looking at with this one for, so I'm just gonna skip it. Sheeb? Oh, don't like to see that draw down below that. I don't know if you'd call that the supply line or the demand line. Let's see, supply line or demand line. Supply line, right? Yeah, so you don't like to see that dip below that supply line, but it did pop above that, so potentially if it continues to stay above that supply line, that'd be okay. I'd be all right with that. Looking like it's starting to potentially roll over. I don't like that. RSI is resetting, so we're getting lower and lower. MACD is not too great either. Yeah, I don't know, not much to say on cryptos today. Not looking promising. Everyone's, I think, just waiting for Bitcoin to determine what it wants to do. You know, like that's the big, it's the big ticket item, right? So like if everyone's kind of waiting in limbo, kind of seeing like, hey, Bitcoin rolls over, my altcoin plays are gonna just shit the bed. So let's check these real quick. I just want to make sure these work, so I'm gonna check this when it goes to the video, when the live stream goes live, see if all these work. So it should notify me when I get subs, which I don't know that I do. A little donation, but I don't know how that donation works. I think the only thing I'd have is like super chats. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully that works. That'd be cool. I want to check out a couple more here. Algo, I wanted to see. Algo. It's looking pretty decent too. ADA, I think looks like shit to me. This looks like you're rolling over double top. Paired with a double bottom locally. I don't know. ADA looks like dookie to me. Ethereum, I don't look at Ethereum enough, but I do think this previous high back in 2018 is going to be your new support line, right? So I think like when it fell back down, it overshot that support line. And I think realistically 1400 is your balancing point right there. So that is probably your new support line. And the fact that you're above there is still pretty good. I did draw this parallel upsloping channel here just to see if it stays within that range. And it is continuing to make higher lows, and especially if it pivots from here, and higher highs. So it is technically going in the right direction. So it is what you want to see. Next stop would be 2000, followed by 2300. 25, 23, 25, and maybe even 26, somewhere in that range, 23 to 26, I would say, followed by 35. So we do continue. If Bitcoin decides it wants to continue higher, that's where you're headed. Link, not much here for resistance if you decide to break up. I would say your next stop is 1270, something like that, where you actually had a little bit of playing around. Okay, the last one I want to look at was Litecoin, because it was starting the year off looking really good. And one of the things I noticed on this is you got this long term supply line there where it's just like building and building and building, where you're dating back to 2017 where you could draw the supply line out. 2018, like every fucking year it hits this supply line. Broke down a couple times, but like it is showing significance of that supply line, right? And the fact that you broke upward and now you're retesting that 200-day simple moving average, very nice looking, very nice looking. You're still getting higher highs, still getting higher lows, yes, very slightly, but you are. Oh, I have music playing apparently. Interesting. Bearish divergence. So let's look at all the divergence here. Oh, that's what I wanted to see. Hold on. So let's just take a look, see if we can see it. You got oscillators. Oh, that's class C, so it's not even going to be on this chart. Most divergence shown doesn't do the 3 of them. It only does the 2. Let's see if we can find one that does 2. Yeah, this one does. All right, so this one has all 3. So oscillator is the same. No, even this isn't what I was looking for. Yeah, whatever. Still think it looks good. Let's go back to stocks, and then that's going to be it for tonight. Just a real quick stream. Did want to look at this one. Same thing with ICX too. All right, Amazon, I think tech stocks are going to take a hit for a little bit longer. I think we're going to probably come back down and test that $80.50 level. If not, maybe this level at 85, just to show that it's like, hey, we came back down to test it, but we're putting in a higher low. We were drawing this as a broadening wedge, which has the potential to be, but I'm not really convinced. If it is a broadening wedge, what you see is when you get a breakout, potentially a back test, this is where your target is, the top of the formation. So you're looking at, if it does do something similar to this, you're looking at a 68% run. I don't think that's going to happen overnight, and I don't think it's going to happen in this macro environment, just due to the fact that I don't think we're there yet for stocks pushing all-time highs, especially tech stocks. I don't think it's there. Ooh, this is one that's looking good. So MOS is a fertilizer company, and I tried to pick it up back when the Ukraine war started, in anticipation of obviously Russia and Ukraine. Russia being the one of the top fertilizer suppliers, right? So that was the play I took on that. And I think I got it somewhere back on this breakout, which happens to be the support line that we're seeing be tested multiple times at $44-ish. So you can see this demand line has now broken out, and you even had a little bit of a back test there. And if it continues onward, you're pushing all-time highs, and I don't see this stopping anytime soon. Oh, no, you're not pushing all-time highs. Let's go to the weekly and zoom out. Oh, look at that. So you'd have a stop here at 73, maybe 88 if you want to call it, and then 140 something. So those would be your next stops. Real nice. I'm not looking at that one live. T-Mobile, no point to look at that. All-time highs. Still continuing higher too. Potentially gonna roll over at some point, right? So the matter is when. Higher, lower, yeah, higher. EOS is one that I was trying to get into based on insider buying, and I saw on the channel that they were posting that there was insider buying going on. It has since started to pump, right? What do I have for the fib? Swing high, candle close to the swing low. 23% is locked in, and it's actually showing that it's support now at that level. I wish I would have got in. I just feel like this one might have good amount to run. I think you only really have this area of $4, almost $5 to $10, where there's actually like some sort of accumulation structure or anything that might hold value. Looks good. PAA is one that we took on this nice formation here. Still sitting in this trade. Caught it on the breakout of this. We're gonna try to ride it up. And we got our measure move from this high to this low. We copied it and pasted it over here to the, yeah, I don't know exactly. Oh, so I have two things going on here. So I got the fib on there, and then I got the measured move. The measured move is a 45-ish% gain, and the fib is potentially higher. That measured move takes you to the 50% level, which also correlates to this level from January 8th at about $19.30. So sitting in that trade, hoping that it plays out the way we want it. Intel, I like how this one's breaking down. Most people don't like that, but I am waiting to see what happens with this. We were expecting to see higher lows put in, but it fell and fell and fell, and it's actually falling even lower. Nope, not yet. It's almost hitting that low at 24.61, and this level kind of correlates back to multiple touches or approximate touches all the way. Why is that not loading? All the way back to 1997. So important level here at $25, and if you fall below it, who knows where you're going to end up. I was expecting it to not fall and actually respect that as resistance and build higher lows each time and continue higher, but it doesn't seem like it wants to do that. Nokia, we're noticing that it's an inverse head and shoulders, and we're waiting for it to get to the neckline. If it does happen, we get a measured move from the neckline to the top of the head. Copy that, paste it over here, and you're looking at a 66% gain potentially. Overall structure, you're looking at, like much of these, a very important level dating back to 1995, 1997 that is being tested as support. You had a massive drawdown, ABC correction, to below that support, and then it's kind of swinging up to it right now. So would like to see it break above that neckline. If it does, I think it'll continue beyond that measure move to something like 1154. And the reason I'm saying that is because there's nothing here to say like, okay, this 66% or this level that you would achieve at that 66% increase at $10.29. There's nothing there. The only next thing is like you got a little bit of resistance touches here, support touch there, and resistance touch there back in 1998. So I'm just saying that value at $11.54 holds a little more than where this target ends up at. Beyond that, I think you have a couple places, but it's a very straight up and down chart, right? Like a really wishy-washy pattern. It's got a lot of potential, right? So it's a nice trade. And then speaking of inverse head and shoulders, looking at GE as well for a nice inverse head and shoulders. There's a lot to this chart, including the massive drawdown. You're talking about important support line that was hit in 2009 and hit as resistance in 1990, but then again as support in 92 to 93. Very, very nice formation here. Your measured move takes you for a 57% gain, but again, yeah, I think that would be a good level, right? Because you got this massive support drawdown like after that all-time high peak January 2003. I think that's a nice level at 130. G is kind of weird because they did a stock split. Actually a reverse stock split, so their price is just odd to me. But yeah, I mean that level correlates with almost the 618 from the swing low to swing high, plus the Feb 2011, plus the January 03, plus you had a little bit of price action going on over here. I think that is the next target, and you're looking at a 50% gain if that's possible. But yeah, that's all I want to take a look at. Again, I always end up looking at the same charts, so please leave a comment below. Let me know what you want me to look at. Tell me what looks interesting to you. If you got value out of this, if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and feel free to join up on the Discord to continue conversation. Link is in the bio below. Till next time. Later.